This is the Orico 80 gigabit a second M.2 NVMe SSD enclosure, a device that claims to lead us into the Thunderbolt 5 era with speeds that make my old portable drives look like floppy disks. In this video, I'm going to show you how this performs with a 1 terabyte drive, run some real-world read-write tests, and tell you why this might be the most essential tool in your content creation kit. Let's get into it. My name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech for everyday people. Today, we're looking at the Orico X50. Full disclosure, Oracle did reach out to me and asked me if I take a look at this product. Although they did provide this to me for free, they're not seeing this video before it goes up. All my opinions are my own. Actually, Oracle sent me the enclosure only, and I did purchase a 1 terabyte SSD myself, and it just happens to be an Oracle SSD. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. The first thing you'll notice is the build. Like other premium gear that we've looked at on this channel, this does not feel cheap at all. It's a solid CNC machined aluminum alloy chassis that feels incredibly robust. It features a fanless design, which is huge for those who are working in a quiet studio environment. No annoying fan whine when you're trying to record. Now, to handle the heat of those high speeds, it uses ice core hydrofilm microfilm design on the outside, which acts like a big heatsink. Now, why would you even need an 8 gigabit a second enclosure? If you're a content creator working on 8K raw video, complex 3D rendering, or massive file backups, this speed is a game changer. It provides the headroom to edit directly from the drive with zero latency, which is a massive productivity boost when your file sizes are constantly growing. So I'm going to be using my M1 MacBook Air with a USB 4 port. That's a USB 4 version 1 port. So it's capped at 40 gigabits a second for our speed test. And we're using the Blackmagic disk speed test with 5 gigabytes for the stress test. So first, we're going to be comparing the built-in SSD drive of my M1 MacBook Air to this enclosure. And then we're going to compare the Samsung T7. Compared to the internal SSD on my M1 MacBook Air, the Oracle X50 was about the same as far as read speeds are concerned, but as far as write speeds are concerned, it was consistently faster than the internal SSD, which is crazy to me because remember, we are connecting this via a USB 4 port. So that means this drive performed overall better than the internal SSD, which is really awesome. Comparing this to my daily driver for the past couple of years, the Samsung T7, as you can see that the Oracle is roughly about 5 to 6 times faster than the T7. Now, while the T7 is great for general office work, the Oracle is in a completely different league for production. Again, we're not even hitting the potential speeds of this drive. But to hit that potential 80 gigabits a second speed, you need the entire hardware chain to be compatible. You need a Thunderbolt 5 or USB 4 V2 port. You need a cable that supports 80 gigabits a second, which is included in this package. Of course, you need an SSD that supports it, which this SSD doesn't, that I have installed in here. Now, my Mac supports only 40 gigabits a second, but this enclosure will stay with me for a while for future upgrades. So what are some of the pros and cons for this SSD drive? Number one, it's blazing fast. This is truly a next-gen kind of device for high-end workflows. Now, I don't have a device that can handle the speed or potential speeds that this drive can put out, but I'm glad I have something that I can take with me to future systems as well. Next, it is silent, completely fanless, operating at 0 dB. There is just no sound coming out of this drive. Next, it has a premium build. It's made of solid aluminum and it's very travel friendly. I could really knock this thing around and not worry about it breaking at all. And lastly, it's very expandable. This supports M.2 drives up to 4 terabytes, which means I can really have this for a long time. So what are some of the cons to this enclosure? Well, first, the price. It is a premium investment compared to basic enclosures. As an investment, as far as speed is concerned, you have to decide for yourself. Next is the heat. It can get quite warm during sustained heavy workloads since there is no active fan. Now, I haven't found that to be a very big problem, but that's just something to kind of consider. Lastly, this is pretty demanding. It requires a lot of power. Older systems might struggle to power it through a single port. So, should you buy the Orico 80 gigabit enclosure? If you're a professional handling massive data daily and you have a modern hardware setup to support it, this is an easy recommendation. It future-proofs your storage and saves you actually hours in file transfers. However, if you're just storing files like photos or doing office work, this is probably overkill. Stick with something like the T7 for that. But for the power users, this is the new benchmark. For me, not only does this maximize my performance on my current system that I have, but it also will maximize the performance for the system I will have in the future. Now, thanks again to Oracle for sending this out to me. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Consider hitting that subscribe button. My name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech. Everyday Tech for everyday people. Until the next one, see ya.